Let's do something insane today. God of War is Kratos versus Zeus himself. Not the Zeus of Olympus who sits on a throne throwing lightning like a party trick, but the Zeus of both myth and comics, a god who's been written to rival even the greatest beings in Marvel and DC lore. Let's start with Kratos. If you played God of War, you already know the man's portfolio is soaked in blood and tragedy. Born a Spartan, molded by war, betrayed by gods, and driven by vengeance, he's taken on Ares, Athena, Hades, Poseidon, and yes, even Zeus himself, ripping Olympus apart in the process. But Kratos isn't just raw rage alone. He's the embodiment of willpower. His weapons are the extensions of his rage. The blades of chaos, chained to his very soul, the Leviathan axe blessed by runic magic, and even the blade of Olympus, the sword that sealed gods and titans alike. Each weapon adds layers to his destructive arsenal. And don't forget, he's not just a Greek killer anymore. In the Norse saga, he wielded runes, Spartan rage, and even time-freezing powers. That's a multi-mythology monster of a warrior. Now, Zeus, whether you pull him from Greek mythology, DC Comics, or even Marvel's pantheon, Zeus isn't some old man in a toga. In DC, he's a god who can shatter planets with divine lightning. He fathers demigods like Wonder Woman and literally bends reality to his will. In Marvel, Zeus of the Olympian pantheon has stood toe-to-toe with cosmic titans. We're talking about a being whose thunderbolts could flatten armies, who regenerates from wounds mortals wouldn't survive, and commands respect even from gods like Odin. His sheer energy output puts him on par with Skyfathers, making him one of the most destructive entities across the pantheons. But let's talk rivalries. Kratos already killed Zeus in his own canon. Twice if you count the visions and alternate outcomes. But here's the thing. Zeus has always come back in some form. In Greek lore, you don't just end Zeus. He's eternal, tied to the very concept of sky and storm. In Marvel, he's clashed with Hulk, Thor, and even cosmic entities, and lived to tell the tale. And in DC, gods like Zeus exist on a level where mortal physics barely apply. So the fight breaks down like this. Kratos has the hunger. He's the underdog who turned rage into a weapon deadlier than any blade. He's beaten gods through grit, strategy, and unrelenting brutality. But Zeus has a divine scale. He doesn't need to adapt. He is the storm, he is Olympus, and whether it's Marvel or DC, he's written as an unstoppable force of nature. Final verdict? If we're talking God of War canon, Kratos already proved that Zeus can bleed. But if we're talking Zeus as he exists in DC or Marvel lore, Kratos would be punching way above his weight. He'd hurt Zeus, no doubt, maybe even shake Olympus again. But against the true comic book versions, Zeus is too eternal, too fundamental. Still, Kratos has one thing comic Zeus often lacks: rage that rewrites his destiny. And that's why this debate will never end. So what do you think? Can Kratos actually stand against Zeus outside his own mythology? Or does the king of Olympus remain untouchable across every universe?